Hi guys, welcome to the Bullies Keep Out La Bella Vita show. Today we are here with Bullies Keep Out supporter, actor John Cassini. John, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this interview.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hi, John.
This is my co-host Tommy.
Hi.
You can find him at Tico71 on Twitter, and then Bullies Keep Out is at Bullies Keep Out, and I am at Dana Giacovello. And John, you're at Cassini John, right?
I'm at Cassini John. Yep.
Okay, great. So we'll just jump right into the questions. As I've said before, I appreciate you being a supporter of Bullies Keep Out and your advocacy. You've done so much, and I appreciate it. It's been wonderful, and I'm glad we finally got a chance to do the interview that we've been trying to do for a while with hectic schedules. So basically, what are your thoughts on the whole bullying situation, hate, like both on and offline, and have you ever really personally dealt with it on or offline in your life at all?
I haven't dealt with it personally online or, I guess growing up, there was always bullies around a little, people, the tougher guys of the neighborhood and guys who wanted to sort of impose their will on you physically. So yes, as a young grade schooler, I remember having to deal with some of that stuff, and I think now it's gotten a little bit almost less contact and more. There's a lot of the online stuff, unfortunately, which I think is what's really becoming an epidemic. So, you know, I mean, for me, I've been thinking about it because I knew we were going to do this interview, and for me, I think it's starting to come down to just everyone around. Like, it's hard when you're in the situation to see things clearly. And I think it's up to the people who are around it and know the situation is happening to it's time for, there's just no more apology for not speaking up. There's no more apology for not saying something. There's no more apology for stepping in. There's no, I think and we're seeing in the news all the crazy stuff that's happening with celebrities, and don't even get me started with all of that craziness, right? I
I
mean,
know.
I'll say it right out loud. I mean, the whole Cosby stuff is it's heartbreaking. But I'm not a judge, jury, but where there's this much smoke, there's got to be some fire, and it just feels to me like that's another form of bullying. That's another form of someone using a position of power uh, in an irresponsible way. So, and I think it's if people had spoken up maybe when it was happening, then maybe we wouldn't be here. And I think it's the same with the playgrounds and it's the schoolyards and online. I think people it's just enough already, and we're all responsible for one another, and we all have to speak up.
Yeah, it's absolutely true that bullying comes in so many forms, even when we do it to ourselves. And I always call it self-bullying. And it's just, it might have different names, but in some way you can almost relate it to bullying, different aspects of it. So you're exactly right there. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being that we were talking about online and things like that, do you think the anonymity of social media has made it a lot easier for people to bully each other?
Oh,
And what advice would you give to somebody who is being bullied primarily online?
I think people have to be really careful with social media. It's very tricky. A lot of people get very, very brave on social media, and they start to say things that they would never say to someone's face. And there is a lot of anonymity, and I think it's a very dangerous aspect. So I'm a little bit torn because I think social media has also made the world a little bit smaller, and it's nice because you're able, like for me, I'm able to connect with family members or people that are all across the globe, and I'm in a business where fans do count, so it's nice to sort of keep in touch with them because everyone's doing it and studios want you to do it and productions want you to do it. Everybody wants you to do that stuff. But it can get a little bit dangerous, so you got to be careful. And I think from what I understand from some people who are a little more savvy with social media, if something starts if something starts to get escalated, just stop it. Just don't respond.
Yeah.
Don't just disappear from it, and eventually it might die down. And this person who might feel like they want to instigate things might die down as well. I mean, I think what happens is when the banter starts, I've read some exchanges where it just gets way out of hand, you know.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I've seen it myself. I've seen people leave Twitter, and I've seen, you know, when you engage, that's what they want, and then it just goes back and forth, and it just gives them more ammunition. Like I'm getting to them, I'm getting to them, and it also gives them more of a voice, and almost makes them popular in a way because then everybody jumps in, and it's
Yeah.
really sad because it can even, you know, bullying can easily turn into like cyber stalking, harassment, and it's illegal, and they get out of hand. I feel like with shows and characters and role and storylines, they jump down people's throat, and there's a difference between an opinion, a respectful opinion, and being kind and attacking someone, and I see that happen a lot, and it's ridiculous, it's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it is in real life too. When a bully starts bullying you in person, they say you shouldn't engage them because that leads to the fight. The
Right.
more you stand and argue, the more it leads to a physical. So maybe that is the way to do it, is kind of step away and say, I've had enough and I'm not answering you anymore.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, because I feel like the other side of it, if someone's engaging in such an aggressive manner, then it usually means something's going on with them as well. And so
Yes, yes.
we
They're
start,
usually bullied.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
they're a victim of something.
yeah, you know, and you want to sort of have compassion for that too and say, hey, you know, it's not necessary. We don't really have to. So it's tough. It's really, really tough.
It is, and even when you hear the stories, I mean, it's not. I think online has become much more prevalent than. I mean, offline it's still an epidemic, in my opinion. I use the same word because I think that it just gets worse and worse sometimes and better. And things are getting better, and you know, things are are progressing, but it's still like with the online thing in the anonymity that we were talking about earlier, it's just people, it's a lot easier when you're not standing in front of somebody to say what it is. And people want to step in and protect, but you also have to understand in getting defensive and standing in to protect, like you don't want to become the bully yourself. And I've seen that happen. They're
Right.
trying to defend somebody, but at the same time, okay, but you're doing the same thing. You can defend or make a comment and interject and maybe mediate a situation without becoming a bully yourself. And then even offline, people see it happen, and it's sad because a lot of people will walk away and ignore it. I don't know if through human nature they feel like I don't know that person, so maybe I shouldn't say anything. And then I've seen people really stand up and speak out even when they don't know somebody.
Right. Right.
And I think that's important to do because I think the more we do it and the more we see it, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos that some of these people were making. They were trying to do like experiments and show how many people were walking away from offline bullying situations and who was actually stepping up and saying something that was
Right.
making a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I've seen some of those videos actually. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Um, Tommy, you have anything else for John?
The only thing I wanted to say is like that one kid who's watching now and being bullied, what would you say to them to encourage them kind of to get help or talk to someone? You know, they're afraid sometimes to actually go to someone because it's embarrassing sometimes too. Like we
Oh,
were saying about Bill Cosby, those women apparently back then were being shamed either or maybe threatened. So it's hard to come forward and do that first.
I mean, just to be clear, you know, I just want to also, we need to be clear in the sense of like the Bill Cosby thing is that's going to turn into a law thing.
Oh yeah, it's alleged. Everything is alleged,
Yeah,
but
so everything's alleged. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to be the one who all of a sudden, you know, is starting to put the cart before the horse. Is just, I think we just have to listen when somebody says something. We have to just listen to them. Maybe we have to explore a little bit more, but we have to listen. So if somebody says they're being bullied, we have to give them a place and a platform to be able to go and speak this because it is embarrassing and it is shameful and you do feel less than when you're being bullied, and it's time that we start to listen to them like they're telling the truth rather than not telling the truth off the get go. And someone who's like a youngster who's getting bullied now, I would say just, you know, there's a lot of great people in this world, and go to the people that you know who love you, and seek support from them, and you know, just keep seeking. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Basically, just seek support from it, and those people who are being asked for support, be sensitive to the issue and know that this is a lot bigger deal to that person who's getting bullied than you might think. You know, I think sometimes we brush it off and we're like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Uh, and the truth is, especially with young kids, those feelings that they have, they're monumental. You know, they're really really big, and so we have to sort of look at it in a very acute manner. You know.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. It's just that, it could really damage somebody emotionally and psychologically and even, physically if it gets to that point. And you know, um, it's great to hear, everybody's different points of view on it. And I want to thank you so much again for taking the time out and your amazing support for Bullies Keep Out. And I look forward to continue work with you for Bullies Keep Out. I did want to ask you real quick, just so everybody can connect with you. I mean, as
Sure.
far as your social media sites and whatnot, are you just on Twitter, or where can people find you?
I'm pretty much on Twitter. My Facebook is more family oriented, but sure, Twitter, and there's a website, John Cassini at mac.com. I mean, no, johncassini.com, which is just sort of has updates of what's going on next professionally. And that's about it.
Okay, great.
Simple.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you. And again, like I said, I'm very grateful for all your support. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks. Thanks for what you guys do.
Thank
Thank
Be
you.
you.
be kind out there, people. Be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind
Yes,
always.
absolutely. Always love big and be kind, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of La Bella Vita with Bullies Keep Out with actor John Cassini and Bullies Keep Out supporter. And thank you for tuning in.